good afternoon. My name is Yasmina Paolacci, and welcome to my book journey. I'm writing a book, a story based in Berlin, and today's topic is dating. I know, dating nowadays, my granny did that. It's very unique. I have very wild hair today, but who cares? And yeah, and it's a new setting, yeah. And this is I'm started a new series, yeah. Well, that's cool. So I started a new series, which you can see here, and this is my hoodie jumper for my fashion line. So today's topic, dating. I know most of you date probably via dating apps, and stuff. I'm not a fan of dating apps, but who's happy with that? Go for it, I prefer to meet people organically. So today's topic, dating, snogging, being snocked and slocked away, Yeah, so it's chapter 59. And yeah, dating. So I just read parts of my book. Yeah, I don't read the whole book, of course, because I want that you buy it as soon as published, and that you support my channel here and subscribe and like, because that also helps to change the algorithms. So okay, let's do it. Or should we have some music? Yeah, just a sec. Let's have some music. Time and simmer. Lighting is great. So, unexpectedly, I get a text message from the tin drum, Oscar. Ulke, my friend, has to laugh all the time and always has a saying that, from her mom, you should be careful with little men who are biting and poisonous. What? Oscar, the tin drum, somehow he's got something. But he's actually had shorter. For the time being, we only arrange to meet openly, as we tend to go to the same event anyway, which is a good thing. And from now on, we meet each other regularly in the White Trash, the shop at Tor Street in Berlin Mitte. I keep him at a distance, as far as dating goes, at an arm length. Yes, I'm doing things like that. And yeah, so I keep him at a distance, probably also because of his size. Although it's clear to me that such a thing is total nonsense. It doesn't matter about age, it doesn't matter if you date as a woman, a guy, and he's shorter than you or younger than you. I mean, look, nowadays, as I'm not 20, I would also go with people some younger, because it's crusty, It doesn't matter. It's a chemistry between people. So, but he actually distracts me from BB I was madly in love with, which is not bad, some distractions somehow. So David, that's the real name of the tin drum, always starts snocking me now, but I partly feel like I'm on a showcase, and just scroll down. So as if he wants to boast about, and because it's always so public, which I personally, I mean, I don't mind it if it fits, but I don't need personally really to snog publicly so much. I mean, if it fits and just happens, yeah, why not? Or if you are like freshly mad in love with someone, why not? It doesn't matter. But it's also like this hand holding and stuff. You know, I was dating someone, I was hanging out for a while last year, and you know, I'm also loving being single. You know, there's a number of reasons why I also am a happy single, you know. And then it's really weird, all of a sudden someone like holding your hand constantly. It's like, it can be cool, but it feels like, for me, then I feel pushed, you know. And it's it's like someone is like fishing, you know, like you're then on the thing like, okay, hold hand with you. I'm not running away. So yeah. Although the snogging with David is quite cool with him. He's really good at it, I have to say. He writes to me more and more often now and yet, and I give in and we make a firm appointment for an afternoon date near Friedrichstraße, which is a very famous place and station historically, because this was the point where people from the GDR went over, if they could, were allowed to go to West Berlin, but mainly West Berliners came over to the GDR there, you know, with that particular station. Nowadays it looks, of course, totally different. Gentrification. So yeah, we go for an afternoon date. It's quite nice with him. I get on really well with him. And he really has something special about him. But at the same time, he can be quite annoying, you know, and so demanding, and so pushy, and it doesn't add up with me, you know. And I don't like it when guys are like so pushy and demanding without any sense of empathy, you know. It seems always very egotistic. I don't want to say like you know, it's like I'm kind of gender fluid nowadays, like, but you know, in dating, because it could also be a woman like that, you know. David takes me to the S-Bahn, you know, it's like the underground, but it's overground. In London it's the overground, and hops on the train with me to get a smooch. It's almost romantic with him. But I'm careful because I have the feeling that I could go after any skirt, if only for the recognition. What can you do? A good week later, David calls me and invites me to a film premiere, and is astonished to discover that I don't actually know his surname or who his famous father is. Well, excuse me, you know, you're snobbing me all the time, and then that time we don't talk, you know what I mean? What do you expect? It's like long before big internet and Google, you know, right, you feel me? David Bennett is his full name, and the premiere is in Prenzlberg at Cinemax, and the film is called Olchan. But honestly, he's so different, and that's actually, you know, if you talk about dating, that's a fucking, sorry for my French and sorry for my German, but that's a bloody red flag, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I went to that premiere, and he was so different and cold and arrogant, and it felt like he had never anything to do with me at all, let alone snogging me away. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hey friend, come and see here. So, you know, and we just had like hello. Oh, isn't you cute? We just had Valentine's Day, and my date was dear Mister here. And we had a nice walk, and we went to the seaside. You know, it was so nice. And he met a lovely furry girl. You know. So yeah. Where were we? You want to sit on my lap? Dude. Shh.
Take me to the stars. I believe in you.
Yeah, like that is good. Stay. So, yeah, so this was really shit, you know. I was at that premiere, you know, and that's a really bad feeling. You think like, you know, you're taking it slowly and everything, you know, trying to do everything right. Ouch. You do everything right, you know, and then nothing. You know, I'm gonna come back here. So, I mean, it felt strange, and I don't immediately back out. I make the best of it and talk to a few nice people. I didn't like this number, and I'm pretty pissed off. And withdraw completely for the time being. What the hell is going on here? Are you still there? Is that totally rude? A few weeks later, we meet more or less by chance in white trash in that club, and he follows me right away. I really don't feel like hanging out with him. You feel me? I mean, hello? I leave the location relatively early, sorry. I leave the location relatively early, and move on. The next day, he bombards me with a few calls and texts and apologizes and wants to make it up to me and invites me to his house and wants to cook for me. I say yes. But there's somehow also a strange feeling.
Fall for me.
Maybe my mistrust now. It just, you know, how can I? Maybe because I do not trust him so much anymore after the premiere. I mean, no wonder, right? Very big red flag. Anyway. I asked a few people around my neighborhood and which flowers I can bring without seeming too much, but just a nice gesture of sympathy and so on. And okay, also something romantic. I mean, not romantic in particular, but it can be kind of probably also a bit romantic, you know. I mean, I like to put up candles and stuff like that, you know. I like to be picked up, I like to be invited, you know, and the whole lot, you know. And looked after during the day, you know, like, and also if someone is like good for breakfast. I mean, once I had a lover, he was really good for breakfast. I mean, he literally prepared my breakfast and I just needed to bite. And it was perfect. Yeah, but I'll tell you that story later. We're not there yet. Soon. So I'm on my way. I'm a bit excited And I think to myself, as shy as I truly am, but most people don't think that I'm shy, how am I supposed to get a bite to eat in front of him? I'm standing in front of his door. He lives behind the Friedrichstraße, S-Bahn, the overground station. Right behind the Berliner Ensemble, that famous theatre, where Bertolt Brecht created his marvelous plays and playgrounds. And he lives on the 3rd floor of a raw building. My heart is pounding, and I climb the stairs more and more excitedly, proudly holding the flowers in my hand. Now I'm standing in front of his door. Knock. I'm super nervous. And then he opens, and his reaction is somewhat, I'm not kidding, muted as I stand in the doorway, which makes me feel completely insecure. The flowers don't go down well with him at all. I'm getting more and more embarrassed, and I feel so out of place. And he hasn't cooked anything either. And suddenly he's getting all cheeky with me and wants to drag me straight into the bedroom. I don't know what's happening here to me, and I'm petrified and go along with it for the time being. But we break off, and I go into the bathroom and rinse my mouth out. I feel like throwing up. I want to go home. I don't know where to put it. Also, his penis was like a mushroom. Kind of thin, and then on top, a mushroom head. Not reading myself. Sorry, no offense. No offense taken. But, yeah, you know. So I want to go home. I don't know where to put all that. I put on my clothes, get ready again in the bathroom, and so on. And I go out, grab my jacket, and put on my shoes, and say goodbye loudly, and make a runner. I'm still petrified and completely out of my mind. What was that? What was that? That was clearly not what it seemed. Booty calls are booty calls. And okay, but date and the thing I want to cook for you, you know, are completely different things, you know. I say this is a proper date. Booty calls are okay, you know, whatever. If you're fine with that, you know, why not? You know. I mean, even if I, like for a booty call, you have to pick me up, or I go my cab, and everything needs to be right. I don't know. It was mostly though like that. When I was with someone, you know, and you know, the thing was done, and I really wanted to go after, then the guys didn't let me go. I wanted to stay, you know. What can you do? Let me see, what music is that? Oh, it's Tom York. Because I thought it's like, it sounded a bit like, what's the band called? Falk Richter loves that band so much. I have a CD for them. Sorry, but Tom York is, yeah, cool. So yeah, dating, it needs to be respectful. And let's say like 2 weeks ago, a guy really wanted to date me, yeah? We met by chance. It was a lovely afternoon with some other people. And we were continuously writing for a few days, you know? And out of the blue, and he wanted to cook for me. It's a tricky thing, you know? And we also said, well, we meet outside. And I said very honestly, well, let's meet outside first, you know, and then for another time we can do the cooking thing, because I don't know that person. And it didn't have the chemistry, like, you know, let's be just each other's booty call. I don't know, I have to see a person, see the chemistry, you know, like feel it. If I feel it, you know, it's all good. If not. But all of a sudden, you know, nothing happened. It's like off. And I'm not the person who's running after the person, because then it's like, you ghost me, why you give me your answer? Bye, have a nice life, you know, but don't expect anything when you see me next time, you know, because dismiss, buddy, dismiss. Yeah? Exactly. Yeah. So, oh yeah, I read you that quote. So when I get home from that candlelight cooking for me dinner, which there was nothing cooked, yeah? I feel completely devastated, and I just don't understand why it can't just fit together and be bloody respectful, dude! You hear me? I mean, come on. I can't even put it into words in my head in that moment, and I'm so happy when Ulke, my friend, shows up at home. She comforts me. We have a bottle of wine and smoke a nice big bag of hash, you know, and of course she comes up with her mother's quote, saying again, the poisonous little drafts, you know, the poisonous little man, they bite. Yeah, they bite. Indeed. I mean, I don't want to, I mean, you know, but just something with it, you know. Anyway, there's really something to it. David is, of course, contacting me again, but I'm blocking it. It's really sunk in that it's also having an unpleasant effect on my current health, because I still have Lyme disease, and I'm completely flat with fever and aches and pains, and the Lyme disease is still not over. Fortunately, I have an appointment with my new dermatologist. Fortunately, I have an appointment with my new dermatologist, who was recommended to me. Dr. Please, in Schönhauser Allee. Welcome, Dr. Please. He's a private doctor nowadays, but I can highly recommend him. I dragged myself there, but because of my skin. But the doctor asked a few things, and as soon as the subject of Lyme disease comes up, he immediately sounds the red alarm and makes it clear that he will free me from it and puts me on completely different antibiotics. I only think to myself at first, well, hope dies in the end, even if then I have to take more antibiotics again. Well, jolly good. I accept the prescriptions with thanks, and I'm really grateful that the doctor, dear Dr. Please, has taken me seriously. It's the end of chapter 59. Thank you very much. The next chapter will be, if I may announce it today, a bit different about, again, the club White Trash. It still exists, but they moved on to Treptower Park. They're behind or next to, between that area, Arena Glass House and Bar, not Bar, Club der Visionäre. Yeah. So you can reach it from Kultur Park, S-Bahn station, or walk from the underground station in Kreuzberg. Linie 1. Ja, Mann. Digga. Yeah, so I will talk about a few things, and there will be my new friend Shara O'Hara, Anita, and a few others about funny encounters. And yeah, sexy. And yeah, and Martin Woodke. We met Martin Woodke and stuff, and yeah, it was a lovely event. The next time I will share about that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for liking and subscribing. I really, really, really appreciate it. And yeah, please have a look on my merch on Redbubble. Also, I'm designing new things. I mean, I'm working on a new series because I want to offer for a great art gallery, as I'm obviously a pop art artist, you know. And yeah, I have a clothes fashion, like I have a fashion line, and yeah, all kind of fancy stuff available for you. And it's uploaded with good vibration, which makes you more happy and healthy. You know what I mean? It's all about happiness. And remember what Marty always said: who's going to fire me if God hired me? Exactly. You feel me? I love you. I love you all so dearly, and take care.